In this hand, you're playing a $400 kickoff event at Bally's Blackhawk Casino here in Colorado. So I think you're playing at about 8,500 feet, and the play is loopy. So most of the pots have been 3, 4, or 5 ways. So you've had a pretty good go of it, though, so far. You have about 166 big blinds, and you're sitting right here under the gun +2. What would you like to do here with the kings? Shout out to Advanced Poker Training and their handcraft tool for helping me put together this video. So with the red kings, it's on you. So let me show you what I do when nobody wants to fold. I want to play a big pot here with kings. I have the second best starting hand. So I just go ahead and raise to about 5 times the big blind. And watch, no one cares how big my raise is. I get called by button, I get called by small blind, I get called by big blind. So fantastic. I most likely have the best hand. I've gotten a lot of money in pre-flop. Let's go. The board comes 9-5-3, and it is on me. So just so you know, these players are very loose. So this is very different. Nobody's playing theoretically correct here. So get that out of your mind. Go ahead. What would you like to do? If you did want to bet, how much did you want to bet here? So there's about 22 big blinds in the middle, and I bet 10 big blinds. And button called, small blind called, and big blind raises to about 47 big blinds. Now, big blind is a younger guy, seems pretty calm at the table. That's about the only read I have so far. I really don't know anything about his game at this point. So, yeah, what would you like to do at this point? So let's break this down, because you're going to be in a lot of situations like this in No Limit Hold'em. So first of all, if the buy-in doesn't mean much to you and you want to rebuy and you think that big blind could just be doing this with a combo draw or tens, jacks, or queens, by all means, get your money in here and hope for the best. If you think to yourself, well, I still have a fine stack here with 150 big blinds. If I bet fold, how interested am I actually in this pot? Well, you can think about it a touch more. So what are we noticing here? So this is a multi-way pot. We've bet and shown a lot of strength here so far. And truthfully, what's going to happen a lot of the time is the button and small blind were very loose players. And if they had just called me, I was just going to triple barrel down most of the time. The way a lot of these passive players play is they want to see a lot of flops, but once they're on the flop and they call you, they do have some kind of pair. Most likely, all your pairs and draws, you would be beating these players, so you could just keep firing. So you bet you didn't expect to get this much action. Actually, you've been triple barreling for value quite a bit in this tournament. It's been going well after you clear out players in multi-way pots. It just doesn't happen to work this time. So here, button calls you, small blind calls, big blind, younger guy, raises to 46 big blinds. What is the most important question you can ask yourself right here? If you can ask yourself this question consistently, you're going to save so much money in No Limit Hold'em. Although this one's pretty weird. This particular hand was pretty weird, I'll say that. I found a way to do the wrong thing right. You'll see what I mean. So the thing I'm asking myself here is, does big blind have queens? Does big blind have X? Does big blind have the best hand that I beat? Because if he's not raising for value with any hand that I beat, and I'm not even sure he's raising with a combo draw there, this is actually a very easy exploitative fold, because you've just run into a set of fives every single time, or a set of threes every single time. So what we're asking ourselves here is, now walk through the hand. You've got time. I was thinking to myself, younger guy here probably squeezes with queens pre-flop, wouldn't he? Most of the time, jacks or tens I could see, but would he really... Jacks or tens I could see for a pre-flop call. Okay, I can see that there. But wouldn't he just call with that on the flop? Once I bet into this many players after raising large from early position and multiple other players call me, generally most people, well, let's put it this way. Let's say half the time he calls with jacks and tens. That doesn't leave me with that many combinations of hands that I beat. So if he's raising some kind of big combo draw, like if this is 9-8 of clubs, let's say, I'm not doing so hot. Now, I still have the best hand, right? But we're essentially flipping. If he's got a set, which I think is his most likely hand, because a lot of people would just call with 9-8 of clubs or tens, or just one pair or a draw, but they would raise the set every time because, okay, this is a multi-way pot. I have the best hand right now, but there's a lot of draws out there. Let's get the money in. So I'm thinking it's far more likely to be a set, or, this is a big blind caller. I wouldn't be shocked if this was just 9-5 of spades that wanted to see the flop. Hell, this is Blackhawk. This could be 5-3 off for all I know. So I decided, you know what? And he looked confident. I thought he liked his hand. Now, that doesn't tell me as much as you'd think it'd tell you, because somebody could just be ecstatic about jacks on this board and maybe just not understanding that one pair typically isn't the greatest hand when you get in hundreds of big blinds multi-way. But I decided to take an educated guess. So money tends to come to you later in life. So if you're looking for people who play frivolously at the poker table, that tends to be people who just sold the business or paid off the house or retirees or whatever it is. It's business owners in their 40s and 50s. Young guns, a lot of them don't have as much money to play around with as most of us don't have money to play around with when we're 27 or whatever it is. And so the younger guys tend to study the game a bit more. So I was just assuming, okay, this could just, he had not done anything the entire day that had really caught my attention. He had not been overly aggressive. He had not been overly tight. So I thought, okay, this is some reg who flopped the set, nice hand. So I made a really thin fold here. So I fold, and this was wild. So button calls, but button played every single pot. That doesn't really say much of anything. It gets around to the small blind there, and small blind gets his money in, big blind gets his money in, and then button folded. And at the end, so big blind did raise with jacks, which I was surprised by, but we managed to do the wrong thing right. Small blind somehow had aces there. A lot of guys don't have the gall to be the second cold caller. To be fair, I could see Button was a very loose player, so it's possible small blind just really wanted to play a pot with Button and not squeeze him out pre-flop. But yeah, I was very surprised by that. So I ended up essentially getting a free buy-in to this tournament because small blind was aggressive enough that if he had 3-bet me pre-flop or squeezed on me pre-flop, we were going to play a big pot and I was going broke. So never be afraid to follow your convictions. It might lead to free buy-ins in $400 tournaments. $400 is not nothing. Okay, guys, that's it for this video. If you want more training, free training just like this, go to pokerheadrush.com. That website, one more time, pokerheadrush.com. And if you want a free full-length training pack on how to triple barrel bluff, check out the information section of this video. All right, best of luck to you on the tables. Take care.